is going on, Vikings fans? Welcome back to another edition of the Skol Experience with GG Sports Podcast, as well as Minnesota Sports Talk. And tonight, it's been a while. We've been joined by a new guest, but we have one on tonight. We got Mike Sports Vibez. Okay, we're going to start off here, as we always do with some new guests. We're going to give you the floor. Tell us about yourself, plug what you do, and also tell us how you became a Minnesota Vikings fan.
Before we jump into that, let me do some shout-outs real quick. This one's for you directly. AJ Analysis. Hey, Mike, how long will you be streaming for? I'll be available 9 p.m. Eastern. Answer my question in the live chat.
I'm going to be live as long as possible.
Yeah. So he's keeping the party going. What's going on, Dan? What is going on, Skol, everybody? Sarah, what's going on? Popping in. Bob Swede, let's go. Let's go. Your card should be getting to your house soon. Actually, I'm going to do that pretty soon. Gary, what is up, Gary? That's our guy right there. Some love in the comments. TikTok time is ticking. Here we are. Come on, boys. Let's rock this show tonight. Oh, we're going to kill it like always. AJ, Skol, Sarah, you left on Monday, so I ended up winning the card. I feel bad. Hey, she has another chance. Again, just because every show, we're giving away another Justin Jefferson rookie card. Hashtag Skol in the comments. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Go subscribe at Mike Sports Vibez. His channel's in the description. I think it's right at Mike Sports Vibez anyways. But go find him on YouTube and go subscribe to him. Hashtag Skol in the comments. This is going to be the last card I'm running for the next 2 weeks because I'm getting ready to move. So I don't want to give away some cards and them get sent back to the wrong address. So we're going to be taking a little hiatus on the card giving away for just a couple weeks. I expect y'all to still be in here, but awesome, Dan. So anyways, back to you, Mike Sports Vibez. So you have an interesting channel where you do Vikings content and 76ers content because you are from Philadelphia, which these days there's a lot of beef with us Viking fans and Eagles fans. So what's your story becoming a Vikings fan in Philadelphia? And what's all that like?
Yeah, so my channel's, I'm a hybrid sports fan, like you said, from Pennsylvania. I'm Philly, everything, Flyers, Phillies, diehard Sixer fan, but I bleed purple. I'm a diehard Minnesota Viking friend from Philadelphia, but I invite all the smoke. I mean, I get a lot of smoke from a lot of Philadelphia 76er fans, but I invite the smoke because I love it. It's all fun at the end of the day. But yeah, man. And the reason why I became a Minnesota Viking fan years ago, it's the myth, the legend, the one and only, number 84, Randy Moss, the greatest wide receiver.
I thought I was going to say Irv Smith Jr.
NFL history. I don't care what nobody says. He's the GOAT when it comes to wide receivers. I put him above Jerry Rice, Patrick, Fitzgerald, T.O., anybody you can name. And the reason why I picked Randy Moss, that he's the GOAT, is because if he had Tom Brady for 7 seasons, I think he would break all the records. He didn't have a consistent, a consistent quarterback. But
especially a couple of years in Oakland.
Right. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have a consistent quarterback. And it's just like the way Randy Moss played, he made the game fun, man. The way he would just catch the ball in triple team, quadruple team. Doesn't matter what team. He's catching that ball and getting a touchdown. He made it look easy. So that's the reason why I became a diehard Minnesota Viking fan. He's the one that made me into a football fan. So I give all the props to Randy Moss. Randy Moss is the GOAT. So, yeah. But on my channel, I don't really cover the Phillies or the Flyers. I really just cover the 76ers and the Minnesota Vikings. So you'll just see me go back and forth between the Philadelphia 76ers and the Minnesota Vikings. But, yeah, and I just talk my talk. I talk my talk, but I'm respectful when I talk my talk. I don't be hate. Like, if my team is doing bad, I'm going to say they're doing bad. I'm not going to be delusional and be like, oh, yeah, we're going to do good. No, I'm going to talk that talk and be real. That's one thing about me. I pride myself on being real and straight up when it comes to both my teams. So,
heck yeah, dude. No, that's pretty cool. So we were talking about this a little bit before, but so what is it like being near all these Eagles fans, especially right now, especially after, was there a big switch for you when we lost to the Eagles in NFC Championship? Like, Like, what was that like? Because I'm sure it wasn't the beef between the Eagles. It's kind of been there for a little while, but it wasn't much. But then after that, now they're just on their high horse, and that's got to be the most annoying thing.
And we beat them the next year.
And then we did.
The Eagle fans when it comes to all the other Philadelphia teams that they ride for, I'm cool with. But when it comes to the Eagles in particular, oh my gosh, them Eagle fans are just like. Ever since they won that Super Bowl, they made it seem like they won 6 Super Bowls in a row. Like, that's one Super Bowl. I know we haven't won a Super Bowl, but I always tell the Philadelphia Eagle fans, I'm about to say 76, the Philadelphia Eagle fans, I always say, we're going to win our first Super Bowl before y'all win y'all second Super Bowl. And I mean that. And I hope that our Minnesota Vikings make me right, man. I want to win a Super Bowl before I die. I'm pretty sure everybody that's in the chat right now, that's on this live, they're thinking the same thing. We're trying to win it. We won the most games in NFL history, and we still don't got no dang Super Bowl. And I think we need to break the trend. And I think this year in 2023, we have a good chance to actually do some damage. And I'm talking about do damage in the playoffs. I care about the regular season, but postseason is when we need to really do what we got to do.
I think we need you to do a man on the street video where you go like to the Philly game on Thursday night and interview people decked out in Vikings gear.
Yo, you know what I'm actually
that would blow up.
You're gonna get beer cans thrown at you. You
I already know. I invite all the smoke because I'm coming a couple people deep. Like I was thinking about actually going to the Thursday night game. Actually,
you actually might want to be wheeled around in a shark cage.
They're gonna be mad because I feel like we can beat them. I feel like there's no. Like, if our defense improves, it has to improve. It can't get any worse. Can it get any worse than last year? I don't think it can get worse than that.
I was having this debate which was worse, was 22 or 21, and I decided to go with 22 because 21 was coaching decisions and game management at the end of halves, and last year it was just complete, just utter incompetence. So I picked 22 as my worst year.
Yeah.
Right.
A couple things before moving forward. Sarah, where are you moving? I'm going to Boston, actually. I'm going to Boston for 6 months. Yep. I leave at the end of the month. See what that's like. I don't know what it's like to live in a big city, so it should be interesting to see what that way of life is like. So it should be fun, but it's going to be quite the road trip to get out there. Deez, if you're still in here, I have a question. Let us know what it is. Oh, Mike, your thoughts on Malika Andrews and Vikings on the upcoming season?
Malika Andrews.
Vikings.
Malika Andrews. Oh my gosh. Wouldn't be nice. I think she's okay. That's all I'm gonna say. I think she's an okay person. I gotta see it. I gotta see how she's gonna cover the Minnesota Vikings. I don't want to say nothing negative about her. If I'm thinking of the same person, Malika Andrews.
Is she like a new?
You're trying to think.
She was the NBA girl,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, that's her. Yeah. I'm gonna keep. She's a very beautiful woman. She's beautiful. By far, she's beautiful. Yeah. But I gotta see how good she's gonna be. I gotta see how good she's gonna be covering the Minnesota Vikings. But shout out to Gary. But I gotta see how she's gonna do. But she's beautiful. She's nice to look at. You know what I mean?
Yeah, at the very least, which is a good start.
That's half the battle right there.
Nice to look at,
but yeah, we'll find out. So we were talking about that Philadelphia game from last season, or actually back to your thing about next year against Philadelphia. I think at the very least, I think we have an offense that if they're playing to the top of what they are capable of doing, I think they have a chance to pretty much beat anybody in the NFL if everything is working right. I think we have that kind of power on offense, and it really will come down to is if our defense, can at least hold up to some extent, and if they're just like you said, better than last year, which they shouldn't be able to get any worse, especially now with Flores there.
It should be illegal to get that.
Yeah, it should. It can't. I mean,
there's something wrong with that.
We might have to get sent down to XFL.
We get relegated. We'll get relegated to the Pac-12.
Into the Pac-12.
If we get worse, we need to go to the Minnesota Stadium and talk to the owner and tell him about himself.
Sarah. Yeah, we get it, Sarah. We get it.
So I guess
Sarah, we know you're watching replays of Kirk Cousins on Netflix right now.
Yeah, we know. Oh yes. Oh, what's up, Mike? I see you want to say something.
Yes, I was just the last comment. He was saying he was like, I want to play them. I want revenge. Yes, I want revenge against the Eagles, but I want them to come to Minnesota, not us going to Philly. I want revenge. I want the smoke. I'm not hiding from nothing. I think we can beat anybody in the NFC at home. So we got to get home court advantage, and I think we can win our division. I think our division is not as strong as people think. I don't think the Lions are going to do good. I think the Lions are going to finish last place in the division. I think they're overachievers. I don't care how much talent they are. They're still the Lions. I think it's going to be a close race between the Bears and the Vikings to win the division. That's just my opinion. But
you shouldn't be talking about Casey's team like that.
You're picking the Bears. Whoa.
I just think the Bears, man. I don't know. I just
Bears
something about them. I think the Bears are going to be number 2. It's going to go Vikings, Bears, Packers, Lions. We'll see how right I am.
I'd probably go Vikings, Lions, and then I'm going to say race at the bottom between the Packers and the Bears. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah, I went Bears, Packers, but just because I hate the Packers.
I can't stand the Lions, man. I'm starting to hate the Lions more than the Packers, man.
Well, they just get all that hype, and now the Lions are going to win the division, no problem. Everyone's saying they are. It's just annoying. We just get this disrespect and whatever team you're talking about.
I saw this.
We got to
talk
about it, y'all.
It was pretty good. John F. Kennedy has only missed one Lions playoff game.
Oh wow,
that's
because they've only had one. JFK died in 1960. Or something like that. So JFK has missed only one Lions playoff game.
One Lions playoff.
I got a question. Why are we the most disrespected franchise? Like, it seems like everybody just disrespects our team. Like, they come at Justin Jefferson. Like, was it Keyshawn Johnson saying he's not even in the top 5? Like, how do you watch the NFL and you're just like, how do you watch? And you're a wide receiver. You wasn't a bad wide receiver. He was a pretty good wide receiver. For you to even, how talented Justin Jefferson. How is he not in the top 5? Even if I think that's disrespectful putting him number 5. But how do you have him you don't even have him in your 5?
Yeah, like, that's ridiculous. And AJ Brown, who was number 5 on Keyshawn's list, he made a top 5 and he put Justin Jefferson between him and Tyreek for number 1. So
makes no sense. There's some hate going on.
I mean, that brings me down to this other one that's the most recent thing recently. Eventually I want to get back to the Netflix thing a little bit because we've all seen the first episode at least. But this one was kind of crazy is the people I think people are just trolling, but people kind of attacking JJ for not putting Kirk Cousins in his top 5. Like, I don't find that disrespectful at all because there's no way Kirk Cousins is a top 5 quarterback. If he didn't put him in his top 10, I would find that probably disrespectful, maybe. But top 5, I don't think so. What do you think, Dave?
Well, I posted this on Twitter because Skol North was like trying to ruffle feathers and saying Justin Jefferson. Well, everybody else did too. They didn't pick him in the top 5. And I'm like, yeah, Skol North. I quote Skol North. This is Skol North. Kirk Cousins is not a top 10 quarterback. Also Skol North. Can you believe Justin Jefferson didn't pick him in the top 5? But then I go on to say, he said Josh Allen and Kurt Cobain are my number 5. Who do you think he meant by Kurt Cobain?
Yeah, he pretty much.
Even though it's Kurt, K-U-R-T, but Kirk. He said Kurt Cobain.
Right.
So they leave that part out, that he literally was referring to his quarterback tied with Josh Allen at number 5. So, and nobody posted that.
It's because it was trolling.
I had to watch the video to find that out.
Yeah, it was trolling. They were just trying to troll him. Like,
people trying to get likes
Jefferson
and clicks.
Doesn't trust Kirk Cousins. Let's push that narrative out there. Of course they're going to.
So I guess let's kind of go back to this. So Mike, you were saying that you think the Vikings have a legitimate shot to make some noise in the playoffs, correct? So
right.
I always hate bringing this guy up because then it ends up just leading into a big conversation. We're going to talk about him anyway, so we might as well get the ball rolling. Is Kirk Cousins the quarterback that can bring us there? Yes or no?
Oh, you went right for it, man.
I think, to be honest with you, I think he can get us to the playoffs, but I don't know about winning in the playoffs. Because I think he's a solid quarterback. I'm not going to hate and say he's a scrub, but when it counts the most, he has to prove to the world, prove to himself, prove to the Minnesota Viking fan base that he can come through when it counts the most. And I understand last season it wasn't him. All of it wasn't him. But at the same time, we still had a chance to win that game against the Giants, and he checked it down to TJ. So that's the position that you're in. You get the most credit when you do good, and you get the most credit when you do bad. That's just the position that you're in. And last season for me, Kirk, that was the best season I have ever seen Kirk Cousins play. I don't care about the stat. My eyes, the eye test, the way he was confident throwing that ball to JJ all season, that's something I never seen him ball like that. He was just throwing that ball in triple coverage. And that's one thing. If he can keep that up and then some, I think we have a chance to win a division and possibly do some damage. But it's all up to his mental toughness, because I gotta see how the offensive line is going to be. I'm still kind of iffy about that, so we're going to see.
Well, he's got a psychologist now. We didn't know that, so we know now he's got a sports psychologist, and that dude covers every base.
Right,
he's got a cryo chamber. He's got a sports psychologist.
He ain't messing around. We know he's serious. He's serious. And back to the Eagle thing. We're talking about the Eagles, and last year against them, Kirk Cousins also admitted that, he was still getting used to the system in week 2 of NFL. So we'll talk about just the Netflix series in general. But I mean, if that's the case, I mean, that's the reality of it. Is what we've had. How many different offensive coordinators have we had since Kirk Cousins?
I think this was his first time since college having the same offensive play caller.
Same one. So this is going to be the first year coming in having the same guy calling the plays. The first time he doesn't have to learn another offense,
Washington,
which is probably a very underrated thing to talk about, right? I mean, that's got to be pretty significant, especially when he talked about how difficult in the Netflix series, how difficult it was to do that, especially against a team like the Eagles, where they're coming at you with all kinds of pressure.
Yeah. Like the audible, that's another thing I seen that Kirk Cousins did. Like when Zimmer was the coach, did you ever see him call audibles? Like ever? Well, I never seen him call audibles like that. He was calling audibles, changing the play. So it's just his confidence was so high last season. And I think that's why I like Kevin O'Connell so much, because of this is his best season. This is Kirk Cousins' best season, in my opinion. I mean,
I don't know if you saw the same thing as I did, Mike, but I just run it by you since you're new to the channel. Like, my viewpoint going into the season was, I hope we went no huddle more, or we got to the line. And one of the things I saw is that we got to the line with 15 seconds to go on the clock, allowing someone to switch plays or call. But with Zimmer, we were getting the play, we're going up the line and hiking it because we had 5 seconds to hike the ball. So my thought process is, and the funny thing is everybody was always saying, why is Kirk so great? Why is Kirk so great in garbage time? Fourth quarter. Well, he's getting the line running no huddle, and now we're doing it the whole game. In what he had better success, but he didn't really take off till like I thought until the Bills game, and I think from then on he really. Like, even his stats were down and everything was down. Everybody's saying, hey, I can't believe, Kirk's having a down year, even though we're winning, we'll go with that. But after that Philly game, he took off. And I kind of think that's what we'll see the rest. That's what we'll see this year, because you saw the beginning of that the TV show, like he's like, Halo and sombrero and, coming up with these play calls because it's a brand new offense. Right. So I think they'll have that in their bag now, and they can play a lot more comfortable. What do you think? You think that you put a lot of weight into that second year?
Yeah, I think that's a great that's something that I think having a second year offense, I think that's going to give him more confidence. That's going to give him the confidence to really run that offense. Like, because I honestly think Zimmer, if he threw an interception or if he did anything messed up, I think Zimmer was on that butt, man. Zimmer was not playing. He would. You know what I mean? And Kirk Cousins is a different type of person. Everybody's different. Like, you can't always yell at them. You got to treat people differently. And Kirk Cousins, unfortunately, he's the type of person, he doesn't want all that. He doesn't want that yelling in the face and all that. So I think that Kevin O'Connell, he just knew what to do, man. And the second year, he's going to I think Kirk is going to absolutely prove a lot of people wrong. But it all counts with that offensive line, man. I think that That offensive line is something that I'm concerned about, to be honest with you.
Like, imagine if we had a above average one, you know, if we had a good,
I know, man.
good, not great, but good one, you know, like
I think
I think the problem with the offensive line is just fit with the offense, though. Like the tackles are perfect. Like we're
you
fine
can plug
there.
those guys in.
But I think when you look at both maybe because Ingram, I think the jury's still out there. But when you look at Bradbury and you look at Cleveland on the left side, I think they're built for more of a Zimmer type system. They're not like true pass, and this is a pass heavy offense. They're not true pass blocking offensive linemen. Like they're better suited they're better suited for a run first type of offense, you know, where they get to move around a little bit and it's not just straight up drop back, like 2-step drop back pass blocking. So and that's the unfortunate part. Like I like Cleveland. I think Cleveland has. I think he's a tackle. I don't think he has the anchor to play guard.
Right,
and as we've seen with Bradbury, he's just, you know, for a pass heavy offense, a little bit too small. He got better this last year, but at the same time, I think he's just still a little bit too small for it. And Ingram, like I said, the jury's still out there. We still got to kind of wait and see. But I just feel like the interior of the offensive line isn't quite built for this type of offense. And as we saw last year, that's kind of where we were weakest. Like Kirk was getting most of his. I mean, if Ezra Cleveland holds up an extra second, Kirk has time to find a better option on 4th and 8. Right. You know, it's just, and I think that's kind of the biggest issue. Like I said, I like Cleveland. I think he's a solid guard, but I don't think he's a legitimate like guard for this offense. So
I 100% agree. Like I think Bradbury, that was a better season, but when we went against the better defenses, like better defensive lines, like especially the Eagles, that's the one team we got to watch out in the NFC. He always gets pushed back. And the Giants, he always gets pushed back. And Ed Ingram, I did a video the other day, and I looked up his stats, man. It was terrible. I said, oh, my gosh, I can't believe it. He was allowed the most sacks with 11. He was first in the whole NFL, allowed 11 sacks. And so I'm just hoping that he learned this offseason and he improved. He improved because he cannot do it this year. Because this is a big year. This year determines a lot. This is the most important season in a very long time for the Minnesota Vikings. Because if we don't accomplish what we need to accomplish, as much as I like Kirk, he's a good family man and all. But Kirk, 2024, it's a wrap. 2024, and we going for a quarterback, man.
Yeah, and that brings Sarah's up here. I'm still drafting a franchise quarterback, even if Kirk wins a Super Bowl. I'm agree with that. Now, like when you watch this Netflix thing, I'm assuming it's going like you can just see how good of a guy Kirk is,
He's
all that stuff. And I'm assuming by the end of this whole series, you're really going to be rooting for him. I feel like I'm like, all right, like just get this guy. He has the spot in his little hidden man cave for a Lombardi trophy and stuff. Like get this guy his Super Bowl win, but I'm still ready I'm ready for the future. I'm ready for a new quarterback. I mean, I'm assuming he's not going to sign another 1 year. Maybe if you got a new quarterback and then you had him for 1 extra year to get the other quarterback kind of ready, but I don't see it rolling that way. But I'm 100% next draft. I want to go grab our quarterback of the future.
The more and more I think about it, the more and more I think that he's going to get a 2-year extension after this season. Personally, just the more and more I look at it, especially because I mean, we'll see if we win a Super Bowl this year. But if we don't, I just don't think that they're going to want to get to a point where they're bringing in. And that's the thing. If you let him go and you don't have a way to get up to a top pick and get a quarterback to be ready this season, then you're going to be sitting at the bottom of the barrel. And as Kwesi's shown, and the Wilfs whether it's the Wilfs or Kwesi making these decisions, they don't want to just have a season where they're just going to be like, okay, we'll suck this year. So I don't know. The more and more I think about it, the more and more I think he's going to be at least back on a 2-year deal. But then that would give them more incentive to make a move, get your guy of the future, and have him sit behind Kirk for 2 years and be ready to go. So
I think this is what I have to say to like all the Minnesota Viking fans that's watching right now. As much as I like Kirk, he's a good dude and everything. I mean, but before this past season, his record was 500. I know it's a team sport, but like I said, the quarterback get the most praise and the most hate when they lose. He was a 500 quarterback until this last season. His record in the playoffs is what, 1-3 or 1-4, something like that. So I look at it like this. I mean, why not go for? What's up, Zoe? I don't think us as Minnesota Viking fans should settle just to be okay. I'd rather, if we have to be bad, I don't want to be bad. I'm not saying I want to be bad. If we draft our rookie quarterback and we're bad for a season, it's not going to be the best feeling. But I still think that gives us hope, because if we don't win this year, we need something different. We got to do the un-Viking thing. We got to just change it up. Like I always go back, and this is I'm talking about Patrick Mahomes. When the Chiefs had Alex Smith, he was the most consistent quarterback. I'm not going to say he's better than Kirk. They're probably like even. I don't know. You could probably say Kirk is better.
But Kirk they're pretty much the same more touchdowns.
Okay. So he's always better than Alex.
It's a very fair comparison.
But even with Alex Smith, the safe pick, Andy Reid said, I just don't think he's the guy. And what did they do? And I know it's Patrick Mahomes. I don't know if we're going to ever see another Patrick Mahomes, but they took that chance and they traded up. They didn't even trade up to the first. They chose the 10th, 11th overall. And he chose Patrick Mahomes, even though all the so-called experts were saying Patrick Mahomes was a project quarterback. They said they didn't even think he was that good. They were saying he was a project like Anthony Richardson this draft. They didn't think he was that good, and look what he turned out to be. So I feel like we got to try to be confident in our coach, our Kevin O'Connell, to choose the right quarterback to put us over the top. Because like I said, we haven't won a Super Bowl. And we got to get our first Super Bowl, man. If it's with Kirk, so be it. But if he can't get us a Super Bowl this year, I think we just need to try to figure out this franchise quarterback. Because when's the last time we had a franchise quarterback for 10 seasons? When's the last quarterback? Culpepper? You know what I mean? Like that's a long time.
Except for one.
Right. We haven't had a franchise quarterback.
And he split time with New York.
But that's also kind of thing. And that's what I said before this season, too. Like, I was all in for the Vikings going for a quarterback in the draft. And like you said, the right quarterback for the coach, right?
Yeah.
If they see the guy, like if O'Connell just looked, and that's why we kind of all thought, if you bought the rumors or not, maybe that guy was Levis at the time, because that's the rumor out there is Will Levis was Kevin O'Connell's guy. Turns out that wasn't quite the case. But like if he looks at a guy, he's like, yes, this is the guy that I think we can take and develop, then by all means go do it. But also you got to look with Mahomes. That's the thing. He was that project quarterback that wasn't a top 3 selection. So if we want to get up there and get a guy in the top 3, let's see, I got it up here. The Chiefs traded 2791 and their 2018 first round pick to move up to 10. So it's like, that's to move up to 10 for a guy who you don't really know for sure. If you're looking to move up to the top 3, that's going to be at least another first round pick in there. So that's where the checks and balances come in. Like, yes, you do need to make a move and go get your guy, but also you got to think about where you're at, where you're going to be at in the future, who you need to, because if you're going to be paying, like we think, Christian Darrisaw, Justin Jefferson, who else is TJ Hawkinson. There's not going to be a lot of money to go around to keep around some of these young guys. So you're going to have to keep drafting and developing. So that's where Kwesi, and we've talked about it since he came in. He's in a really, really weird spot. He came into a team that was cap strapped, had a lot of aging veterans, and you have a high price quarterback, and you're not really winning much. So he's coming in here trying to balance all of these things, still think about the future while still being competitive. It's a tough spot to be in. And so he has a lot of tough decisions to make. And honestly, it's like, I think we all basically agree the toughest decision is going to be where are we going after this season with quarterback? And I think, I don't know. Will we find it up before the season? We'll know by the draft next year for sure, because they're going to have to make a decision before then, so.
But yeah, we kind of got ourselves in a weird situation with Kirk not being signed any after this contract and getting our quarterback. I think at some point you can't just be so worried about winning the next year. Like if we go into the next season, we're not gonna go trade up for a quarterback and sign Kirk Cousins for 2 years. There's no way that happens. I don't see that happening. So there's a chance. I don't see that happening. You're not gonna move up to a top 10 pick and have your quarterback sit for 2 years. Or now you got to pay guys like TJ.
If he's a project quarterback type, though, like if you're going up for a sure thing, then yeah, by all means.
Not a top 10. Even look at Anthony Richardson.
Patrick Mahomes is a top 10 quarterback, and they had Alex Smith under contract still.
Yeah, but they had him sit behind for 1 year. 2 years, that's a lot. And you're trying to pay Darrisaw, you're trying to pay Justin Jefferson, you're trying to pay TJ Hawkinson. What do you have to do there? You have to run with a rookie quarterback on a rookie quarterback contract. That's what you're gonna have to do. There's no way you're gonna sign Kirk Cousins for 2 years, get a rookie quarterback, and now you're just trying you just want to
solve all our problems.
Yeah, we can't do all that. It's
that just solves all our problems. Get a rookie quarterback while our defense is still 31st in the country.
It might though.
They were paying Alex Smith.
Towards eventually getting a Super Bowl.
They were paying Alex Smith a lot of money when they made that, because they probably thought, we don't know if Mahomes can be ready in 1 year. It might take 2. And then that's the thing with Kirk. If Kirk Cousins comes in that year, plays really well, and they're watching rookie quarterback TBD in practice that first year, and they're like, damn, this guy's got it. Kirk Cousins is playing really well. A team that's ready to win now and wants that guy, we could trade Kirk for him.
Well, if we have no trade clause, I feel different about it.
That's the thing. I do not think they re-sign it with the no trade clause being in there. I don't think that's
part of it.
So they signed Kirk to the whole no trade clause. They signed Kirk to a 1-year extension, right?
Yeah.
And that 1 year was basically him getting a no trade clause. So you signed him for a 1-year extension. I think that was an easy thing to throw in on a 1-year extension. But this next contract is not going to have a no trade clause.
Here's a fin for a fellow former Jackrabbit, Dave.
Yes, sir.
Chat. Let's go. That's
I was 2 years a Jackrabbit, and I transferred to the other team.
Hey, as we're talking about anything, we'll bring up this Justin Jefferson rookie card giveaway again. Justin Jefferson rookie card, hashtag Skol in the comments. There's some people I haven't seen in here before. For your chance to win this, all you have to do is hashtag Skol in the comments. At the end of the show, we will give this away, and I'll mail it to your address. All you got to do is like the video, subscribe to all of our channels, GG Sports Podcast and Minnesota Sports Talk, and everybody in here that watches our channel, go to Mike Sports Vibes and go subscribe to him. I know a couple have already done it. Keep doing that.
Put that in the chat again.
We
give away these cards every single live show, so should definitely do that. But yeah, anyways, I don't know. It's a interesting situation, but I think we definitely put ourselves in a weird spot with Kirk Cousins going into the next offseason with him not extended at all. And I'm assuming everything looks to me that we're going to be going towards a quarterback in next year's draft. I mean, it just seems like feels that way, especially with Kirk Cousins not getting extension yet. So it'll be interesting. And especially like back to the contract situation with Darrisaw and TJ and JJ. It's like, we've heard the rumors that we are very interested in the idea of having a quarterback on their rookie contract, and it financially, this might be something we just have to do. And we can't sit and I just think there might be a decision you have to make where you might have to go get a cheaper veteran than Kirk Cousins and hope they can stand in for a little bit until that quarterback comes in and plays well. Because that's another thing too, is we don't have to get a quarterback that needs to be like, we can get a pro ready type of quarterback. That's not impossible in this draft coming up here.
Our backup signed for 2 years.
Yeah, so something like that. But I don't think we can just, because what are we going to do with Kirk Cousins? Like, I think the only idea is like we just want to win games because we want to make sure Justin Jefferson's happy. That's like the one thing, the argument with this. Otherwise, it's like, what, we're just going to keep barely making it into playoffs. Like, that's not really going to do us much. I don't know. There's no point to keep trying to do this competitive rebuild thing unless it's really just to make JJ happy, which I think we need to go pay him right now so that doesn't come around next season when we have to freaking pay him his money and then we go pick up a quarterback and then he's worried about us winning or something like that. But I don't know. I think they put themselves in almost the perfect spot though, because like basically, let's say that so no Kirk Cousins contract, we roll into the season. Let's say we bottom out. Last year was fluky. Like Kevin O'Connell, you can still see he's going to be the guy. Kwesi's still making moves. We bottom out, win like 4 or 5 games. That is perfect. Then you're like, oh, good. All right, here's our route. Kirk, you're gone. Justin Jefferson, guess what? We have a top 3 pick. We're going to get this quarterback. He's going to be with you for the next 15, or he's going to be with you for the next 10 years. We'll give you a bunch of money. Just stay here. Great. If Kirk plays well, we win 10, 12, 13 games, whatever. Make a run in the playoffs. Kirk balls out. No other quarterbacks are available. Then it's like, okay, toss Kirk some money, keep him around for 2 years. Look at your quarterback next year.
build around him with the picks that you do have.
No trade
I think
clause.
they have themselves
No trade clause. No trade clause.
Yeah, I agree. But I think they have themselves in it's in a weird spot, but it's also in a pretty solid spot as well. And Kwesi was thinking about that when they didn't extend him, even though he said he would take like a less money or whatever. I think that was part of Kwesi's mindset is let's just play out this next season. We saw how the first season went. We're not 100% sure still. We still have a lot of pieces we're missing, but 13 wins, great start. We'll see how this next season goes. And from there, we start making some decisions. So that's where I think they're at. I think it's actually in a pretty solid spot. And then also
people also leave out the fact that Kwesi did offer, well, from what I gather and from like people that are insiders, offered him an extension.
Offered Cousins?
Yeah. That he offered him one, he wanted
right?
3.
He
said, okay, I'll do it for 2.
Right.
You don't remember this?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
1 year would have been fine. I'd have been great with 1 year.
This is coming from Purple Daily.
So I think so. It was one. I don't know if it was confirmed, but it was 1 year, and Kirk wanted at least 2 years. But Kirk was willing to take a pay cut, and Kwesi didn't.
But they didn't want to go to 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think he's just being smart, because even if we go 500 this year, then I think it's much easier for Kwesi to be able to sell the fact like we just got him. Like then it gets to the point, okay, we had the one season where we had some fluky quote unquote wins and we played well, but it's just this ain't working. Next season we come out when we were 500. Now we can move on, and then now you're a little bit closer to that top spot. You don't need to give up as much to jump from like mid-20s to top 10 to get somebody. You're sitting right there like 12, 15. You can make a smaller move up. So I think that's part of the mindset here as well, that it just see how things go. See how things go this season and make a move if you have to.
Part of the leverage Kwesi's using is the fact that we are a destination franchise. There's no if, ands, or buts about it.
You're a quarterback.
We no longer have wood paneling on our fucking practice facility walls. We, if you ever looked at Spielman's old office, and we're not playing in a college stadium anymore.
What upgrade?
We're not playing in the dome anymore. So, I mean, we're playing in just amazing facilities. We're ranked number 1 or the NFLPA. You can take that leverage into saying, okay, I'm not going to extend Danielle Hunter. And that's funny. People are like, oh, they don't trust Kirk Cousins enough to give him an extension. Oh, they should really sign Danielle Hunter. Why aren't they giving him one? He deserves it. They're just completely different narratives on both players. Mm-hmm. One has played half his games the last previous 2 years, and the other one's played every game since he's been here. But that's the thing. He's got this leverage of players want to play for us, and Kirk Cousins already done it 3 times. Now this is his 4th time going into a season on his last year of his contract. And each year he has played well. So I expect him to not to even lose a beat. I doubt he was even thinking about it.
Yeah.
And if you saw that
right, North,
I don't know, his YouTube show, but when he signed the contract before the season, he left everything up to his agent. Just find me the deal, right? And I think that's how he plays it. He compartmentalizes it.
I think Kirk's gonna ball out. I think he's going to ball out this year.
I would agree.
I don't know. I'm getting like it feels like he's going to have a really good year, but
I think he's going to be smoother. He's going to know the offense more. I think
and so much talent.
The big thing is KOC is going to be, I think, more prepared and be a little more, with his running game, be a little less predictable. I just think he's going to be, and we're not going to have like 2 quarters of not moving the ball. I feel like that's past us now. We'll have the same play caller, the same offensive coordinator, almost the whole offense.
AJ. Mike, what were you had something to say?
Yeah, going back to what you were saying about the rookie quarterback sitting behind like a veteran. The last few years, it just seems like all the rookie quarterbacks been starting like from day one. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Patrick Mahomes, did he start?
Nope.
No, he didn't start day one.
After 1 year.
Lawrence started.
Justin Herbert,
terrible.
Justin Herbert
started.
Was all right. Josh Allen was terrible. Not terrible, but he wasn't very good in his first 2 years.
No, I think
Josh Allen.
I'm pretty sure Herbert started right away.
What's the Bengals quarterback?
Herbert started right away.
Joe Burrow started right away.
Yeah.
He started right away.
He got hurt though. He missed most
I look at it. I don't. It's not like the days when we had Brett Favre, when Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers sat behind him for a couple of years. I just think that now they just starting these quarterbacks. I mean, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but they seem like they're balling out. Some of them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't
I'm trying
mind
to think of a rookie that really has balled out. I guess you could say Herbert. Josh Allen took.
He's
3
been
years
all right. He's been all right. Josh Allen really struggled
he took 3
until
years. You know,
I mean,
I
other
guess
than
Mahomes,
other than Josh Allen struggled, other than leaping over Anthony Barr.
Yeah. Josh Allen played really well.
Right.
He single-handedly beat us that game at home.
Yeah.
But Mahomes, he started his sophomore season, and I think he played really well, if I'm not mistaken.
And that's because Alex Smith got hurt, right? Did he get hurt? Is that why he started?
No,
I think
no.
They benched him for the final game of the year just because they were already in the playoffs.
Oh yeah,
I'm trying to think of.
And then they traded him the next year to Washington.
Joe Burrow was like the only quarterback that's probably like
he got hurt.
Justin Herbert.
He didn't play. He didn't really play till his sophomore year.
Lamar Jackson, I think he definitely started his.
He started out pretty hot.
Not all year though. He came in halfway through the season.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
That's another thing. Is it's either
he had like 1,700 yards.
Like now, it's like they're push. No one's even wanting to wait a year. I mean, the Anthony Richardson is pretty crazy because with all like for how raw he is, he's going to probably be their week 1 start.
Well, because they have literally zero other options.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how he does. Obviously, he'll be a rookie regardless. But no matter what, people are pushing players mid-season, like I said with Lamar Jackson, but Malik Willis last year, Ritter last year. It's like they're trying to get these rookie, even if those are 3rd-round rookies, and they're trying to get them on the field early, which might not be the play. Those guys probably should sit a year, especially
how many games were started last year by
Andrew Luck started right away for
Ritter?
Sure.
Right away, right.
What's that? What about
how many
Ritter?
rookies started last year?
Ritter, Brock Purdy, Malik Willis, Sam Howell.
Well, Purdy, Purdy was out of. That's one of those things that happen. You get hurt, you find a guy.
Pickett started Wait, I think Pickett started.
So we got Tom Brady.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't. Mitch Trubisky started.
Trubisky started week 1. Yep. So 5 rookies ended up taking over, and only one of them was a 1st-round pick, and it was picked in the 20s.
I mean, taking over. Malik Willis was because of injury.
Right.
Still, I mean,
Howell was just the last week. Like, let's see what he can do out there.
Still.
Like, I don't know.
Still that's ballsy to let a rookie, especially a 3rd-rounder, come in. Even though I felt like Malik, well, at least the perception.
That's all they had was Malik Willis, though, behind Tannehill.
Yeah.
Really
obviously, I don't know. They should.
I didn't even see a game he played. So
Malik Willis, but that's one thing. That's an example of Malik Willis's stock is so far down because of how bad he played, to the point where now it's like some people could see him getting traded already.
Well, I guess
even though he had so much hype going into last year's draft,
I had heard actually AJ actually commented this. What do you guys think of Malik Willis? I had actually heard that I read somewhere that he's actually been doing pretty well in camp so far. He's actually outperforming Will Levis.
That's what I've.
But they're still looking to move on.
Potentially, yeah.
Probably because if you want to have a guy come in and replace Ryan Tannehill, Will Levis reminds you of probably Ryan Tannehill with a little bit more athleticism, I guess.
Way more athleticism and less throwing stuff. He had the 30. He had like a 35 QBR.
But I mean,
Malik Willis had a 12.4 QBR, the ESPN ranking.
That's what it is.
And a 42.
Yeah, it was not good. It was not good. He's the example of someone you should be definitely sitting for a year.
Well, that's my point. I think Mike brought it up earlier about Patrick Mahomes. Like, nobody thought there was another team out there that thought he was great. He actually told Kansas City, someone is going to draft me if you don't come get me. And that's what he told Kansas City to do that. So there's other teams, but think about it. We believe all the reports about, nobody thought Mahomes was going to be a stud quarterback, but we didn't. Now we don't believe everything was the smoke about Willis going top 5, and he went 3rd round. So you can't. Wow. I mean, it's smoke everywhere. Yeah, and people were dogging on Mahomes because they didn't think because they wanted him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like you want them, or some of them are like they're just trying to get another team to pick them. Like, what are they doing?
It's like Zimmer. One of the great things about Zimmer, they really wanted to play Harrison Smith. He had no idea he was going to the Vikings. He had no idea. They wanted him. They wanted him.
My guy.
So they didn't talk to him. They didn't go visit. They didn't bring him in. It's like,
right.
he had no idea he was coming to the Vikings.
I know.
Right.
They're playing these
That's
games.
good strategy, though. So,
I know.
if you like a quarterback, try not to talk to him as much. And there was all this hype about Will Levis. Kevin O'Connell liked Will Levis, but, we passed up on him.
I think it was the quarterback coach for Carolina was caught on television telling what's his name, CJ Stroud, about playing. Hey, you're gonna look good in Carolina next year, and I'm like, that was the quarterback coach. Oh, they're gonna go CJ Stroud. No, they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So
right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wish, going back to the offensive line, like I just wish our guards were like, they don't have to be as good as our tackles. That's high level, but I wish they were like half of that. Give us half of how good the tackles are, and I think we would have a great offensive line. But that's my biggest concern, because I think that's going to be it's going to be an excuse, and it's going to be a good excuse for Kirk Cousins if we don't have a good season.
Truly defines the midness of Kurt.
Oh, yeah.
Too evil super chat.
Gives Dave $5 just to toss that.
Yeah. Hey,
Dave, you're supposed to say thank you when they
I'll say $5 is $5.
Always insulting.
He's my biggest philanthropist.
Yeah.
Kirk.
But one of the things that I will say watching that documentary though is like you can tell a lot of it is definitely staged, because there was like the one moment I can't remember if it was after the win against the Lions. He had the fire sitting out there with his family and stuff, and then they just have the shot of him like sitting next to the fire like this. Come on, like that's
hey man, they're trying to make that high quality. That's one thing about that show. Like the quality of it is insane. Like I don't know what, like the camera quality and all that stuff is just so
is it the same, like the same producers that made like the golf series on Netflix as well? Because it's kind of set up very similar.
It might be. I didn't watch that. But it's the quality is nice. The quality is
Netflix
nice.
actually putting out something good. It's impressive.
Yeah, it was good. I'm gonna have to finish it. It was good. Yeah, it was really good. Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I know, Patrick. It makes you.
Oh my gosh,
that's the problem I have with it is just knowing I can just feel the hype coming with the Bills episode and then the Colts episode and how awesome it is, and then you just know how the series is going to end for us. Yeah. You just know. But it sounds like it's the opposite. They're going to end up in the championship, and then at least we're not.
Mariota's just going to be out by episode 4.
Taken by Ritter.
I know, right?
Yeah. But this show though, Netflix with the quarterback show, is so well placed. It's not even funny, just because like you're at like that point where we've had about a month-ish with no football. Training camp is going to start up within 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. So it's like, this is so perfectly placed just to build the hype of football and to get eyes on it. Like, had you put this out like back in like March, like no one would have cared. Put it out during the season, people would have watched it, but have been like, okay, we already have football. But this right now in like the doldrum moments where there's nothing going on football wise, this was absolutely genius placement for this show. And I think Peyton Manning was the executive producer, they said. So maybe it was partially his idea as well.
Yeah,
but
that's what it is. So that's what
brilliant.
Said
absolutely
it
brilliant.
wasn't the golf thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't the golf thing. Which starting it with Peyton Manning going through the whole thing, that was a hook right there. That was a hook. That was sweet to see. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, and they at least 2 out of the 3, they batted 2 out of 3 for the quarterbacks. They got one guy that set all these records, the other guy won the Super Bowl. I mean, how freaking lucky did you have to be? I mean, they had to balance it out and have Mariota.
Right. But I think that was.
I feel so bad for him.
But I think that was kind of their point. They went with the top dog in the NFL. This guy who's kind of people think he's in the middle, but is he good? Is he bad? It's for everybody's interpretation. And then they went with the guy who's fighting for his job. So I think they kind of took one person from every level of football and did it that way.
No,
he's also a free agent.
Netflix
coming
paid
in,
for Kansas City to win the Super Bowl.
Right.
They should. I hope they don't. The Vikings would have been a way better story. They picked.
Oh boy, we got Packers fans in the building. What's going on, Angler? Thanks for hopping in.
But no, it's been good so far. It's good so far. One thing I want to say back to the offensive line for like the 5th time. That's one thing I think if Ed Ingram takes a step forward, I think that is going to be the key piece for that offensive line to go from average to good. Because I think as long as you got one guy in the middle who takes a step forward, hopefully and if Bradbury can just be what he was last year, hopefully that's enough to kind of make our offense pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Hopefully.
I would agree.
Another thing that we haven't done last season, I'm not sure if you noticed that the one thing we haven't done was the screens. We haven't done screens a lot, like with and then when we did do a
You led the
screen,
league in tight end tunnel screens.
That
yeah,
lost
and when we
yards.
did do a screen, we lost yards. I'm like, what are we
Right, dude.
doing?
That
We
is
got
one of
Dalvin Cook.
that is one of Dave's biggest gripes all last season was the
What
tight end screens that went for 3 yards.
happened?
I know.
Let's throw it to the tight end.
What happened to the
I know,
screens? We used to be a beast with the screen game. I don't know what happened last season.
Oh, we
I don't know if
were
it's the offensive
with
line
one
or-
play against the Colts.
That's
one
one
play.
play.
That
That's
was-
not
yeah.
consistent.
And
We
that
did it
play
throughout the
broke the
season.
game open for us.
Well, tied the game.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that was
set us up for it.
Speaking of screens, and we'll kind of we talked about the quarterback and the offensive line up. We already know about pass catchers. Let's transition to running backs here. Speaking of screens, Delvin Cook caught a couple that went for some big plays, right? Did you hear? Apparently, there's rumors out there today. I can't remember where I saw it. Can't remember who said it. But they was it someone?
Sounds credible.
Jeremy Fowler. There was the report out there that Delvin Cook has an offer on the table from the Vikings for $7 million a year.
You want me to ask my
but
guy?
he doesn't want to be here. He wants to go to Miami, and all Miami's offering him is $4 million. That's the rumor I heard today. That's I can't remember. I saw it on Twitter somewhere. We were talking about it at work.
I heard he had an offer that he it wasn't enough. He turned it
from
down.
Miami.
I didn't know if it was
And I
the
think
Vikings.
partially he's waiting for an injury closer to camp to see if he can kind of drum the value up and get a little more money. But I had heard the Vikings have an offer on the table for $7 million a year, but he doesn't want to come. He doesn't want to be here. He wants to be in Miami is where he wants to end up. So that's what I had heard through the rumor mill today.
Skol for life side. Skol for life side.
Which, if that's the case, I would be very
How
upset.
many
'Cause I'm
years?
not a Delvin Cook guy.
That'd be
How many
crazy.
years?
I don't know. I just saw $7 million a year. It could just be a 1 year, $7 million deal.
Okay.
But I
I'll
saw
do a
there is
year.
money. There is money there is an offer on the table from the Vikings for him to come here, but come back.
Dang, that would be crazy. Our running back room is going to be someone's got to leave. I don't know who. If Delvin Cook comes back, I mean, we're not going into the season with 5 running backs, and Keenan has a kick return job as far as we know right now. Maybe he'd be the easiest one to go. I can't see us unless McBride looks like he sucks.
McBride. I like McBride.
Yeah, I like McBride too. So I'm like, what do you do here? It's like that's not looking good for Ty Chandler. I feel like. I don't think it's going to. I don't know. I mean, you can't $7 million to $4 million. $4 million. That's disrespectful. $4 million for Delvin Cook. That's disrespectful. I think
that's fair.
In my opinion.
Oh,
I think it's fair.
you don't like Dalvin Cook?
That's more than fair to Casey, I guess.
Oh my God.
$4 million for a guy that just had over 1,000 yards.
Yeah. 1,100.
1,000 yards off of
1,100?
10 plays.
I don't want anybody to take carries away
hit
from
the offensive
CJ
line,
Ham.
fall over. Hit the offensive line, fall over. Trip, fall over.
That's CJ Ham's boy.
I don't want anybody to freaking steal carries from CJ Ham. None of that.
That's a fair point.
I want everything on the goal line. CJ Ham all the way.
I know that's
another thing. We need our running backs to block too, help out with that offensive line. I'm not sure. Trying to think of it. Was Dalvin Cook a good blocker? Helping out with the blocking?
He's decent. He's pretty decent.
Yeah. So I don't know how Madison is. I think Madison should be good, right?
Yeah, he should be solid.
Kirk Madison's dad told us that Kirk Cousins went to bat for him. He gives a lot of credit to Kirk Cousins for going to bat for him to re-sign him. And you saw the other day that he was like, hey, maybe we can sign Dalvin Cook again. It's like he wants to keep the whole band together.
So what's your opinion on just going back to the defensive side? What is your opinion on Brian Flores, the hire? I'm pretty sure you already talked about it. And do you think was it a 4-3-4 defense? Do you think that's going to work with the players we have? Like, especially if we keep D Hunt. If we keep D Hunt, do you think that would work in a 3-4?
I think it's gonna have to.
Okay.
I am pumped about the Flores hiring, and I know Greg, who's in our chat quite a bit, he's not happy with what Kwesi did with the defense here because he didn't add a lot of pieces, which is true. We lost a lot of pieces. We tried with, we brought in some young guys with Davenport, a younger guy who had some injury issues, but he has had good seasons in the past, as well as bringing in Byron Murphy, kind of in the same boat, good seasons in the past. did have some injuries. But I just think that people who look at this and they say like they didn't do enough on defense, I think they're discrediting the hire, because I think Kwesi's a smart man. He knows what he's doing. I think the fact that he made these little changes on the defense while also bringing in a Brian Flores type guy, I think he realized like with a more aggressive defensive scheme, we'll be able to help out the weaknesses we have, right? And we have a bunch of young talent who you don't know what you're going to get out of them yet. Could they suck? Sure. But could they also be solid? That is also very possible as well. So I think that I love the hire, because I think that they're really hoping that he can come in and turn this defense around, which he's done at many other stops in his career.
When asked 3-4 or 4-3, he said, "Who we playing?"
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I loved about him. That's what's totally flipped me over to him. Plus, these guys told me a little bit too. Like they may make sense because he was the play caller for the Super Bowl at the Patriots. Then I looked at the only year he really called plays was the second year in Miami, and that defense dominated. Right. So I'm like, okay, I'm in. And then he has the freaking press conference, and they asked him 3-4, 4-3. He goes, "Who we playing?" I'm like, that's what I want to hear. I don't want this Ed Donatel where I'm like, okay, everybody, we're gonna play 7 yards off the ball at the cornerback, play deep safety, 2 deep safety. We're gonna funnel everything into the open middle, and they're gonna get 20 yards of fucking play. That was Ed Donatel's defense, and I don't think that's going to be anything like it this year.
Yeah.
One thing, I got to get this off my chest real quick. I just got to get this off my chest real quick. I got to talk about this. The only thing I have a concern about Kevin O'Connell is when he seen that defense last season, all season, just give up all those yards, 400 yards a game. Why didn't he have a backbone and say, yo, we need to change something up? Or you're just not going to be you're going to have to take a step back. Because when they was making all those, when they were saying at the press conference, we bend, but we don't break. I was saying and yelling at the TV, we've been breaking all freaking season. We're down. We were broken every first 2 quarters. First half, we're down by 10, 14 points. What do you mean we bend, but we don't break? Just because we kept coming back, we shouldn't have to come back every single game. That was my thing. Does he have a backbone to be like, yo, we got to change something up? That's my biggest concern about Kevin O'Connell. My bad.
He sat down at Donatel and scouted him. That was reported. And he openly called out, hey, we got to make some changes. But I also think it's Kwesi's. I think it was, it's not Kwesi's call, it's his call. And I think being they got him Ed Donatel because he was that veteran, presence, right? He was that, older coach, the mentor. He's assistant head coach. What kind of message does that send to your staff kind of thing? Mm-hmm. I thought it was a mistake. I did. I completely agree with you on that. Like, he should have fired him and went with, I can't even think of his name now, the special assistant.
Right.
It would have been a better choice.
What week? Mid-season, Sarah said. What week would you have fired him?
Well, no, but that's kind of but I think Sarah's definitely right here. When you're going 13-4 and things are working out just enough for you to win games, I think it is tough to make that decision.
Yeah,
in some of those games, like the defense did make them play at the end.
If we were 6-1,
podcast,
right? And then we go on the bye week and we come back and our defense is the reason we lose like 3 or 4 straight, then I think you're like, okay, now we got to make a change. But with the way the rest of the division was playing and winning the division was never really in question, I think he was just kind of in the mindset of, well, let's just stick it out and see if we can improve. And, things aren't going bad. Like our defense, and that's the big thing with the defense. They made timely plays at the end of games to help us win, which obviously you can't live and die by that. Because we saw what happened in the playoff game. It didn't really work out. But I think that was kind of the mindset. It was hard to make that change mid-season when we were so far ahead in the division. Right. So why shake the boat too much when this is working to an extent?
Yeah, it would be a really hard decision to make.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously you're winning games. It's not perfect. Even though like now looking back, we weren't as good as it looked. Like, as we were hoping, we weren't as good as our record. We just weren't. But even
we missed a hell of an opportunity.
I
know we had a chance, man.
It's just like
we had a better defensive coordinator. We had a hell of an opportunity.
I know, to make that decision as a first-year head coach, it would have taken some balls. And if it didn't work out in your favor, you got heat for it probably. Yeah. But at the same time,
And
Like
Pettin
you
is,
have to have known that we can't keep going with this defense.
No, like
well,
what was?
but the other option is Mike Pettin, and there's a reason that Mike Pettin was hired as our special assistant. You know, nobody gave him a job as a defensive coordinator. I just feel like he's a good defensive mind, but I feel like he wasn't a guy that they wanted to give the reins to. I think they're happy with him in a consulting role because he's seen things, he's been around. But I don't know. I think partially
he had some success though, right? He had some success early on in his career. Got the Cleveland head coaching job because of it. But then he went to 3 NFC title games with the Packers. I'm like, it might be something. And then the Bears actually, their defense wasn't half bad in 21. You know, so I'm like, he's doing the same role there. And I'm like, give him I would much better rather had him than a Donatel.
Did y'all see how what's his name? Patrick Peterson, every time a wide receiver would burn him, he would like grab his leg and like he would just fall on the ground. It just style. Yo, it was so embarrassing. I'm like, this guy is the best actor on the field. Like he's getting burnt deep, wondering why he's giving up 20 yards a throw going his way, and he's falling on the ground grabbing his leg. But I understand why they had to play zone. But
I knew
my goodness.
When Patrick Peterson wrote, with the writing was right on the wall when he was complimenting the defense at the end of the year, that he liked this defense, and that's because it's zone all the time.
Yeah,
and
it was terrible.
Yeah,
terrible.
It's gonna be different. I know Greg in here is worried about our defense considerably. He says we are going to have to score at least 42 a game because we are going to give up 30 to 35 this year. I just don't think Flores is that guy, dude. I don't think Flores is.
I think he's going to figure it out. I mean, and here's the thing: we could just move up to like a top 22 defense, and we're going to feel like this defense is miles better than it was last year.
And our offense should be better.
We don't need that much different. We won some 1-score games with a 31st ranked defense in the league.
Right. Like, and the NFC is wide open. I don't care. Nobody said the NFC is wide open to me.
Right. And Mike you said the best point. You said the best point when we first started talking about defense. It can't get worse. And that's really it. It's hard to get much worse than what it was.
If it gets worse, then we have to do
something. That better be rock bottom. Honestly.
I mean, it can't. Yeah.
There was that one defense we had. I don't know. What's his name? Zimmer? The defensive coordinator for Buffalo, our old coach. Leslie Frazier. There was that one year where Tampa 2 defense was the Tampa 40-yard a pop defense. Mm-hmm. It's like that was pretty bad.
But here's what a coach can do, right? Speaking of Leslie Frazier. Leslie Frazier's last year here as head coach 2013. 30th ranked defense in the league, right? Zimmer comes in, basically, they drafted a couple guys, but had a lot of the same guys on that defense and flipped them to what? Top 14? 15?
Something like that.
Right.
17th, right. I think it was ranked.
Right.
Pretty good.
And then it kept getting better.
It's possible. It's still possible. That. Yeah, exactly. So
and we didn't know who those players were going to be. We didn't know who Harrison Smith or Xavier Rhodes.
That's my guy, Harrison.
We didn't know.
Smith.
That's the Notre Dame Army, military jersey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the camel jersey. That's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
That is super cool.
Yeah, I got it from my NCO. So when I was in the Army.
Oh, awesome.
Exactly, Sarah.
Thank you for your service, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yep. Definitely. You already know. But
Skol from New Mexico. What up, Eric? What is going on, dude? Hey, Mike.
What do you think about
Come on, AJ. Stop, AJ.
Eagles are getting
Mike, what do you think about Harrison Smith? What's he going to be like this year?
I think Harrison Smith is going to absolutely ball. I think I'm a big Harrison Smith fan. I love Harrison Smith. I just feel like last season everybody looked bad. I think he's going to be the same Harrison Smith. I think Brian Flores, Antonio Whipple's my guy. I think Harrison Smith is going to be the old Harrison Smith, getting sacks, always making the right play at the right time. It's just I think Brian Flores is going to know how to use him. And my only thing that I want to say about the defense is I'm just hoping that, of course, I want to be able to stop the run. That's one thing we haven't been doing in the last few years, our defensive line. And, we got Davenport, but I think we're going to surprise people. I think we're going to surprise people.
one of my hot takes was Harrison Smith was going to have 5 sacks. And he hasn't had more than 3. So that's me.
Harrison Smith
playing
have
up at
like.
the line.
I like
He's
it.
going to be playing up at the line a lot.
I think so too. I think so too.
Instead of 6 times in the entire
Mike,
year.
our guy Gary has a question for you about Harrison Smith. How many sacks and picks this year?
All right, it's debatably my favorite player on defense. All right, so for sacks, I give him about 4.5. 4.5. For picks, 4.
4 picks? Okay.
4
What did
picks.
he have last
like
year? He had
that.
what Harrison
Would
Smith
it
have for picks
would
last
it
year?
surprise you that he's only had 4.5 sacks in the last 4 years?
Combined.
Hot take.
I'm not surprised,
I'm
but
right there with you.
Yeah. No, I
But
think
he's always
Flores,
around the ball.
21 though.
I
And he
think
made the Pro
Flores is
Bowl.
going to use Harrison Smith in that way better than any coach he's had. Better than
Right.
Zimmer. I think that's
even
what
better
he
than
does
Zimmer.
that.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Well, he
That's
made the
another
Pro
thing,
Bowl in
too.
21, so 3 sacks, 3 interceptions.
Age is just a number.
man,
He's gonna ball out.
He's a missile, dude. He is a missile.
He's
And
only
I
gonna be
think he's
34.
gonna-
Louis
I'm a
Cine.
whole
I
8th
think he's
grader
gonna
older
fall
than
out.
him.
What's that?
I said I'm a whole 8th grader older than him. Or no, shit, sophomore in high school.
Sophomore
Shit.
in high school. Older.
I'm 16 years older than this dude. 34. He'll be 34, man.
And we
That's
need
still
that
young.
veteran leadership
Yeah.
back there too.
Yeah, you know when he was out, our safeties didn't know what the hell they were doing last year. The games, games he didn't play.
I got a player for y'all. My guy's Jay Ward, man. I think he's underrated. We drafted him. What was it, the fourth round?
I think
or
he was
third
like
round?
5th, wasn't he?
He
Nah,
was
I don't think he was 5th.
He was
Fourth or
I know
fourth.
AJ here. I got my hope.
We drafted him and named
Oh,
him a
he said Jay
quarterback.
Ward. Yo, Jay Ward. I just have a feeling he's going to surprise. I think he's going to absolutely surprise. And Lewis Cine. I'm cheering for Lewis Cine because I think people are not. They think he's a bust because of the injury. They don't think he's going to play out. But I have confidence in Lewis Cine, and I'm cheering for him, especially because of that injury in London against was it against the dang Saints? Was it against the Saints?
Yep, in London.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
the dang
probably.
Saints again did it again. I can't stand the dang Saints.
Ward was drafted the 32nd pick overall in the 4th round.
Yes, Jay Ward is going to surprise some people. He's a baller, man. He's a baller.
I'm liking Mekhi Blackman. Anybody who had to chase Jordan Addison around the field every practice.
Speaking of this, why does everyone don't give credit or believe in Osborne to be number 2 wide receiver? To me, it's because Jordan Addison.
I would say route running and separation. Yeah, he's a very good wide receiver, and that's exactly what Jordan Addison does well: route running and get separation. So KJ is a really good number 3 receiver, but I think that's kind of his peak.
Yeah, I think he's going after this
year. On our team, like that Lions play in the documentary, you wide ass open.
Oh yeah, I know he does. Man, he has his games. And who knows? He could prove
half his yards came from 2 games last year.
Right? He could prove us all wrong, even as Viking fan. He could prove us all wrong. I think he definitely probably is going into this season with a chip on his shoulder. So we'll see what happens. We'll see the work that he's putting in. If he ends up a better wide receiver, or ends up getting that number 2 spot over Jordan Addison, I think that says a lot. I'm not banking on it. I'm not banking that he's going to be that guy, but it's not. We've seen it happen in bits and pieces, but it definitely hasn't been consistent.
Jalen Naylor, just Jalen Naylor,
and I am still sleeping on
Jalen Naylor's going to win the 2 job. That's it.
Okay. You're going for it.
Do we still have Rager?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Why do we still have
last
Rager?
year of his 4-year deal?
Oh my gosh! And then I have a question for y'all, man, because this is something that is the most underrated on the team is special teams. What's her field goal kicker? Greg Joseph.
Yep,
Greg the Leg.
Go Steelers. Oh my gosh. All right, so Greg Joseph, right? How many? I think he missed like 5 extra points. 5 extra points last season. That's almost a full touchdown.
I think he missed 6.
You know what I'm saying? He might have missed 6.
I'm gonna look.
But I know he at least missed 5.
Don't give him too much credit. 5.
Casey would probably give him 1 extra kick.
He was like 1 out of 5 for like 50 yarders to start the season, if I remember. And then he kicked that 60 yarder and won the game.
Are we confident that he's going to be better this season, y'all? Because I think that's another.
Casey likes him. I'm not convinced.
I'm a big Greg Joseph guy.
Point, because I don't trust him getting an extra point. You know what I mean? So that's just an underrated take that I was just thinking about, because it's just like all them extra points he missed, man. That just kind of hurt us.
He did start out rocky last year. He missed a lot of extra
name
points.
drop.
He wasn't very great. He wasn't very great at 50-yard kicks to start the season. But eventually he did turn on the gas at the end of the season. He was clutch when he needed to be. I think
wasn't enough.
He's got a lot of game-winning kicks.
He did have a lot of game-winning kicks.
Yeah, but
wasn't enough for what?
In his career.
Wasn't enough for what?
That's not enough. There was how many? What games did we lose? What games did we lose where his extra points were a big deal? It was at least 2 or 3 games where if he hit a field goal, the game wouldn't have came down to the end.
Did we win?
4 extra points.
Did we win those games?
We probably
those are the comeback games. Kirk fucking brought us back.
Exactly.
So there's
why do we always have to come back?
He missed the field goal or something. Happened.
We fight in our defense and our special teams. We got to come back. We fight in our own defense and we're fighting our own special teams. Our offense has to make up for all of that.
Yeah, I don't think Greg Joseph is bad, but am I feeling confident he's gonna be a really good kicker? No, I think to me that seems
he's a survivor.
Yeah, I don't think he's a good kick. He's a solid kicker, but I want more than just a solid kicker. Is not good enough. Solid kicker.
How many times has this guy been lifted up on people's shoulders? Honestly,
he does get the game winners.
How many kickers in the league would you say are rock solid kickers?
They're not Viking kickers, I'll tell you that.
They're not wearing a lot of purple.
They're not wearing our
purple. But hey, my take on this is Greg Joseph or Greg Coleman, another Greg, the leg that we had, gives a lot of clout to being a holder and having that consistency at all three, the snapper, the holder, the kicker. And we switched our punters last year. Because Greg Joseph had a good second half the year before, and then in camp he didn't miss a kick with the other holder. We cut him. He misses 2 kicks in practice with the new holder, and then he kind of struggled all year. So yeah, I give a lot of credit to having a holder that you like to have consistency, timing, all that. This is a second year with him, so. I expect him to win the job because we do got a guy in camp. But yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. He's got a long leg, man. He can kick.
He does, but he pisses me off. Though. I ain't gonna lie. Pisses me off.
He made 26 field goals out of 33, and out of 50 field goals attempted or plus was 4 for 10. But that's he started out slow and he picked it up near the end.
Well, they played that first game where they had the doors open.
He missed 6 extra points.
Remember they had the doors open.
Whole touchdown. That's what I'm saying. He missed the whole touchdown.
But then you got to look at the clutch kick, so you know that is in there somewhere.
All right, that's fair. But it's not always about being clutch. Sometimes
we're desperate to talk about shit.
You don't want it to always come down to the final kick. We don't last year. That was the problem with our team. Even though we're 13-4,
but you're gonna blame that on the kicker missing extra points and not the defense giving up.
I don't think Greg Joseph cost us a game last year.
There was because we only lost 4 games, but there was times where we were tied game and Greg Joseph misses. It's 17-17 and he misses a field goal, and then they come down, and then it ends up going into overtime, or we have to make a game-winning touchdown, and we didn't have to do that. All Greg had to do is hit that one field goal. That happened 3 times last year.
This kind of reminds me of this. I'm saying that Greg Joseph never cost us a game last year. It kind of reminds me of the Lions game. They did it in the show today that Kirk Cousins misses that throw to KJ Osborne, right? I don't know how many times after that game everybody was telling me Kirk Cousins had a bad game against the Lions. I'm like, I'll rewatch the game. It was a good game. He had a good game. And they always brought up that fucking play where he overthrew KJ Osborne. I said, what did they do right after that? They went down and scored, and he threw a touchdown pass. So fuck. I'm like, same. He didn't lose a game this past year. I get it. But 2 things can be right. He missed a lot of extra points, and I believe Casey's right. He's made some clutch kicks.
He did.
It set a Viking record in the process.
Which is there has to be something he can do it.
Hold on now. Hold on. But Jamie had a good point though.
He has a good
clutch point. If he would make his extra point. It wouldn't have to
clutch,
be a game-winning field goal.
Michael Jordan was more than clutch.
Find me. Okay, Jamie.
Kobe Bryant was more than clutch. They won games. They didn't let it come down to that.
I want you to come at me with all the times he's missed extra points that has led to those games becoming close. I want you to find all of those examples.
That is a hard thing to ask, but
Jordan,
there was also games. There was definitely times where he misses that we were down by 1 point. We're down by 1 point in the game.
Jamie,
what point in the game though?
Kobe and Jordan missed more game-winning shots than they made.
That's good. That's perfect. That's straight to my point because their greatness came from not letting it come down to the end of games. That's why they're so good because they don't let it come down.
If they missed game-winning shots, it means they lost the game.
What's that?
Greg said they missed. Dave said they missed game-winning shots, so they lost the game.
Well, he's just saying. Well, not yeah. They missed more game-winning shots than they made.
There's levels to this though, Dave. We can't be comparing Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant.
I compared them first. I compared for
okay.
Mike, I did not go to Kobe Bryant and Greg Joseph.
It
was Jamie.
Okay, all right. That's what I was about to say.
It was Jamie who's comparing Kobe Bryant and Jordan.
I'm just telling you that my comparison is being clutch isn't good enough. That's not good enough.
Right.
Consistency is what's good. Being clutch is nice to have, but you don't want it to come down to having to be clutch. Like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, they didn't get a game where they had to make a game-winning shot most of the time. They just outright won because they were that great. That's
John
obviously
Paxson made Jordan's career.
What's that?
I'm just kidding.
Anyways, that's what it is. Like what Greg says here is clutch was there, but I want consistency. That's what I don't Gary. It doesn't need. I don't want it to come down to a last-second field goal. Obviously, it's not just Greg Joseph's fault.
I think you can coach. I think you can coach consistency and but I don't think you can coach length of kicks. Yeah. So if I had two guys and I said, okay, I got a guy who can make 60-yard kicks and I got a guy that barely break 50. I'm like, okay, I'm going to take the 60-yard guy and teach that guy how to fucking kick. But yeah, I don't think he's the best kicker in the league. And yeah, he missed more extra points than anybody probably. But I think I just think his second year with the holder is going to be much better.
And yeah, you could be, but that's another thing. Like, yeah, he hit the 60 whatever, which is nice, but he missed 650 or pluses, and that was definitely earlier in the season when he
had the one game. I think it was the Pack. I think it was the first game of the year, wasn't it? Where they had the doors open.
Did he miss like 2 kicks? Or did he miss that one, or did he make that one?
He made one of those, and then he missed it. But you want to talk about consistency, though, right? Like I get it. 50, like it's nice to have a kicker that can nail 50-yard field goals, but he missed 650 plus, and he was 26 of 33. So he missed one within 50, which is, if you want to talk about consistency, when you're consistently making those in between shots, that's consistent to me.
And that was unusual for him to miss the 50-yarders.
Yeah, he was always missing. He was making 50-yarders before, well before that.
Yeah, but you missed 6 extra points, and you still missed 7 field goals on the season. Like, if we have any other kicker that we could have had at that point, that 61-yarder against the Giants isn't made. Let's see if I can find some stuff here real quick.
We got it. Oh man,
it's so bad. I'm looking up Greg Joseph's stats.
No, this is what it came down to.
Hey, but what's your opinion? We're gonna definitely finish the Greg Joseph conversation. But what's your opinion on the linebacker core? Do you think we got a good
Someone brought
tandem?
It's not deep.
It's pretty
deep.
It's pretty weak. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm liking Brian Asamoah, though. I'm really excited about him. But we are relying a ton on him. We're putting a lot on that dude's shoulders.
I know, man. He got injured. He had a concussion a couple of times. Was it a concuss or was it like an injury? I don't know.
So
I know he.
Another thing.
I remember him getting dinged up, but I don't think it was serious.
So Greg Joseph was 34th in the league in field goal percentage.
Pretty good.
34th out of 32 teams.
But wait, are those counting kickers that like maybe played like 2 games?
There's like 2 kickers. 3 kickers like that.
But he's also clutch.
But
He
that's
came in clutch in those situations, so he he can do
But
it.
that,
And you
but
want to go
still,
back
I
to
mean, I don't.
go
That's not
back
good
to
enough for me.
and you
I want
okay, it's not
consistency.
good enough.
started
for you, but
something,
it's
Dave.
Clutch is not enough. Clutch is not enough.
Okay, yeah, so it's not good enough for the special teams coordinator who didn't bring in any legitimate kicking competition. Okay, good. So,
I mean,
he's not
I'm hoping
buying
that
it either.
I'm hoping that he ends up does all right for us, but I'm not gonna say Greg's like he's the guy. He's the kicker.
Oh, and
He's
by the way,
kicker I
and
want.
you want to talk about the extra point minute? He missed 6, which is the most in the league, sure. But 40 out of 46, he had the most extra point attempts in the league last year, behind Jake Elliott. No,
What was
third
his
most.
percentage?
Like the third, 87%. Which I'm looking at 1, 2.
I can't get it.
I mean, it's tough to kick indoors, guys.
His extra point percentage.
87. I already said that.
36. His extra point percentage was 36 in the league.
What?
Swirling.
Yeah,
When the fans kick in,
But there is a couple that didn't have a lot of games. So if you took those out, he was sitting probably around like 29.
Yeah.
Oh shit! He made all his kicks against Green Bay. It was the Detroit game. It was the Detroit game. He went 0 for 2, and that was because they opened the doors that game. I remember that.
Right.
And it was both above 50. He missed both those. So yeah, he started out the season pretty bad. He like 0 for 2, 0 for 2, and 0 for 1 against 50, but he ended the season 1 for 1, 1 for 1, and 1 for 1 from 50. So he got a little more clutch at the end of the year.
But that's the thing. Like, but I'm not sitting here saying the extra points are acceptable because they're not. But I'm just saying I think
he missed 2 extra points against Green Bay.
With how clutch he is, with how clutch he is, he has
his field goals.
He has it in him to figure it out.
I mean, at least that's what we're hoping for.
No, he does. You don't just accidentally make as many clutch kicks as he makes without having some sort of skill.
Yeah, but you need more than that as a kicker. There's 32 teams.
This is the worst conversation than Kirk Cousins argument.
I had to be the one to start it. I started.
I'm not that wishful thinking on Greg Joseph. I think he's good. He's
clutch 3 for 3 from 50 yards in December.
He's a bottom half kicker at the very least, and that's being extremely generous.
But you're just looking at stats. You're not looking at what he did. Some of the kicks they asked him to make were so high leverage.
Like 3.
Do you think
but he missed other ones that were high leverage. He missed ones that gave us the lead. It was like 17-17.
That's not to win the game, dude. You're not.
Yeah, but that's still high leverage. That's still high leverage to me. For sure.
I just hope he's more consistent.
What's the relief pitcher on the Twins that everybody hates?
What's that?
What's the relief pitcher on the Twins that everybody hates? Every high leverage situation gives up a dinger.
Kick rocks as well.
Yeah, right.
Jordan Hicks.
Okay, let's talk about Jordan Hicks.
Yeah,
he played 2 downs. He'll play 2 downs, first and second. He better be off the field.
Yeah, and then there's a guy that we.
I don't like Jordan Hicks.
I'm worried.
I don't like Jordan Hicks. I'm sorry.
I loved it when he folded Aaron Rodgers in half the first game of the season.
I think they brought back Jordan Hicks because they needed a guy that was at least that veteran presence, which I think is fair. But also, yeah, I think they can do better. But
yeah, so we probably in trouble with the. We're going to see. I just think it just really depends on Brian Flores and what he does and what he does with the defense. It just depends because we got a lot of concerns, but then again, I'm really excited because we can't get better than last season. We can only improve, and I think that we're going to be a lot more aggressive. We're not going to give up 10 yards before we hit the wide receiver. We're going to give up 10 yards every freaking pass. So I think that we're going to surprise. I think we're going to be ranked. This is my hot take. I think we're going to be ranked between 21 and 25 next season.
That's kind of where pretty much where I had pegged us at as well.
21-25. I think
that's fair.
And that's even if D Hunt leaves. And I don't think D Hunt is going to leave. I think he's going to play. I hope he stays, but who knows what's going to happen at this point. I think they should have been signed him, but we don't know.
Yeah. I'm going to say for defense, I want top 20. I want 19. I'm going 19.
I had a hot
19
take.
defense, baby. Let's go.
My hot take was
top 20 defense. It's happening. The Flores effect. I mean, we've seen it happen with Zimmer. We've seen Zimmer do it in 1 year. I think to 14. I think Flores can do it to 19.
I had a hot take that we'd have this weird split where we were top 10 in scoring defense, but like 20th in yards, because I thought we'd cause a lot of turnovers. We'd keep people out of the end zone, and even we had some scoop and scores, shit like that, kill drives and things. So I was like, I thought that because of the Flores' defense, and I'm comparing it to his second year at Miami.
I hope so. When's the last time we had a lot of turnovers? It's like,
well, it started looking like that last year, right? And
yeah, it was.
Yeah, and then it was like nothing.
Well, yeah, when we saw Dantzler strip the ball against our ISM, actually, in that game, that was like it just seemed like it was going to be our year, man. And then the Bills game, and then we were just fooled the whole time. The Colts game. But it did. I mean, there was just that feeling that like this isn't gonna hold up. But it really did feel like Donatel. It felt like a Donatel thing, and we just never got that figured out until the season was over already.
I'm looking at Jack.
Hot take: Madison won't end the season as RB1. I think that is a hot take, and I feel like that's possible. I think that is possible, but it's up to Madison. It's up to how Madison plays. But at the running position, it's your first year after being a backup your whole career, which isn't really your fault. You're behind Delvin Cook. But we've seen definitely crazier things than a player like that lose his spot because a running back behind him ended up being better. That happens probably more than any position in the NFL, I'd say.
I think it'll be interesting to see how much McBride sees the field this year. Like if he's going to be a guy that they just keep on reserve, or if they're like he'll be one of the guys that doesn't dress, or if they actually want to use him a little bit. They'll be. I'm intrigued to see what they're going to do with him.
Our backup kicker the UDFA. He his long is 49 yards.
Yeah, we don't. They didn't
stay with Greg Joseph, ladies and gentlemen.
He's a Georgia guy, right? He's the Georgia guy.
He's 20. Oh, he had a 53-yard game winner.
Okay.
Ooh, game winner.
A little better.
Sign him up. Sign him up. No.
McBride.
But so was he pretty
in the Peach Bowl against Cincinnati?
I want a guy that can kick a
high leverage Peach Bowl.
A 60-yarder. I ain't gonna lie. It does suck if you have a guy who can't hit a 50-yard field goal. That'd be the most annoying thing. Or just can't even kick it to there.
1 for 3 from 50 plus.
It sucks when we miss extra points. What's up, Holden? Yeah, that was my concern. I was just like, man, that's something we don't never talk about. But I think about Madison, going back to Madison, like I hope he can do it. I hope he can, because he doesn't have that breakaway speed to get. I haven't seen it because I mean he's been second string.
He doesn't
like Dalvin Cook. Once he get past a certain point, it's a wrap. You're not catching Dalvin Cook. So Madison, I don't know if he can do it. If he's gonna be RB1, maybe Ty Chandler could do it. We never see Ty Chandler. So I don't know what he's capable of.
He's breakaway speed. He's
preseason, which he looked.
He's about equal speed but less shiftiness than Dalvin Cook was. He has a 4.3. He ran a 4.38 40.
Okay. But that shiftiness counts, though. That shiftiness counts to get around those.
He's not like as shifty because Delvin Cook is really shifty, but he has some shiftiness. Chandler definitely has some shiftiness in him.
Yeah, I mean, like Delvin Cook was one cut and go, right?
Right.
Yeah,
that's basically
and he just made everybody else
he
look
stopped
like
on a dime.
motion.
If he
had that acceleration
by the first defensive line,
Chandler does not have the acceleration. He had one of those when they do the 10-yard split, he had like a 155, like elites, like under 1.5, like so he doesn't have that just out of the block speed. He's got that longer speed, but he ran a 4.38, and then the guy that's underrated for speed is McBride. People were talking about how he's not fast. He ran even though he didn't run it in the combine, he has been clocked at 4.5 flat. So that is completely legitimate running back speed. So
what's your opinion on McBride when it comes to like catching the ball out of the backfield? Like, can he catch? Because
he had
it doesn't seem like he was catching the ball in
his entire career.
Yeah, he had
right. That's my
1 or 2 last year.
Which
that's not.
You never
I don't know.
I mean, it might be an Adrian.
I did see the catch, and he did not look incompetent when he made it. And it was, I think LSU.
Some people say it was more of the offense and game plan type of situation.
Definitely the offense.
Then so we'll just go with that. He can catch great, probably.
I don't say he's going to be as good as. I don't think he's going to be as good as the other two.
Definitely great tackle.
He could be the best pure runner on this team right away, even over
right
Madison.
now.
Madison just can also catch. He's faster. Madison ran a 4.6 something, I believe, at the combine, right?
4.67. 4.67.
Yeah, I mean, his
dad was a track star. His dad was a track star, so at least he got a little bit of speed.
McBride will be running back 2 by the end of the season. He's going to be 2.
I mean, I could see.
Change up the pace. I don't know about Todd Chandler, but I don't know.
Todd Chandler's so skilled too. It's gonna be real. It's gonna be worth keeping an eye on through training camp. It's Madison's job, absolute. Like, it's not even his job to lose. It's his job. But is it impossible for one of these guys, like even McBride, who could be the best pure runner, to hop over him in midseason? Or if Madison gets an injury or something, all it takes is someone to fill his shoes and play a little bit better than he did. You know, that's all it takes for a running back for them to get replaced.
I could see McBride being one of those guys you draft in like the last round of fantasy and just stash him on your bench as a handcuff to Madison if you take him.
But we still TJ or Chandler, like that dude did look so good last preseason. I think people are going to forget about that big time. But I think the backup to Madison is going to be something to really watch in training camp. I think it's going to be a sneaky little battle there.
You know what I'm excited about for preseason? When we finally get the preseason, I'm excited to see. I know this might sound crazy but Jaren Hall, I want to see what he's capable of.
Oh yeah,
I want to see what he does because I'm sorry, but I want to have some type of like hope behind Kirk. You know what I mean? I want something in the works. I don't want. So I know Kirk is a warrior. He doesn't get hurt. And I'm not wishing injury on him, but what if he did get hurt? We're gonna put our Mullen. Like, I want more hope than you guys. I don't know. I want to see Jaren Hall.
Yeah, me too. I was so pumped that we picked him because I had him as like my 6th quarterback from like a pretty big drop off. But I was excited to have him, and I don't know what he'll be. But I'm just like, it's nice to have that going into training camp, so you have something to watch. Just those kind of positions, like Jordan Addison is going to be fun to have. Like a first round, it's a lot more fun than having a cornerback to watch and train. Doesn't mean we shouldn't have a first round cornerback, but at least it gives you like a player to watch in preseason. We get to watch Jaren Hall in preseason as the quarterback with hope behind him. And that's just exciting to me because we haven't had that in a while. A rookie quarterback that we could actually watch and hope he succeeds. So that makes training camp, like this training camp, so much more exciting to me than the last training camp because there's positional players that important position players that we get to watch. AJ and Nat, we're huge.
I wouldn't say I like them. I would say they're my team.
No, I've watched
it's the worst franchise in all sports.
Summer League games.
Love
I watched all their Timberwolves Summer League games, so that's probably tells you something.
Y'all had Kevin Garnett, man. Y'all had Kevin Garnett.
So So I was a Bulls fan growing up until Jordan left, and I'm like, okay, I don't care about anybody else on this team. So Timberwolves have a team now. They drafted Kevin Garnett. He's awesome. Yeah, that's when I became a Timberwolves fan.
Yeah, for me, I think I told you before. Actually, we hopped on. It was Kevin Love. Is pretty much getting Andrew Wiggins was what really did it for me, and then it was kind of just like being a Viking fan. Nothing but disappointment. But we're feeling good about Ant. We're feeling good about Ant right now. I think he's going to be a big part of this league for the future.
Mike, tell us, do you think we should trade Big Cat?
Cat is like in the Timberwolves world. Cat is like the Kirk Cousins right now, and I am
that's a good comparison.
On the pro Karl Anthony Towns. I'm on the other side of Kirk. No, I'm on keep Cat, unless if you got a good trade for Cat. Yeah, most people are not on the keep Cat.
I was huge on Cat when he drafted him. I was like, don't fuck
up
and
talented.
draft the other guy. Draft Karl Anthony Towns. And then I'm like, okay, stretches the floor great, but don't drive to the basket. You don't have handles. You don't have handles. Yeah. And then the worst part about him is fouling. He gets pissed off fouls. Just to be
as a Philadelphia 76er fan, I'll do that trade now.
Dude, you can't put Harden next to Ant's running the show here. Harden at this point in his career just feels like he just gets in the way and takes other people's shots and stuff. Like he's hindering Maxey, I feel like, with the 76ers a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know. He just doesn't have that.
No, Mateo, leave this league, and we're going to say he changed the game.
So that's the thing with Cat is that's one thing for sure. If we traded him right now, we are not going to get the value back that I think should be worth. I mean, at the end of the day, he's still a 7-foot big who is the greatest shooting big of all time, center of all time, as far as how many shots he's taken in his 3-point percentage. That's
better than Dirk?
Dirk, I don't think was a center.
Oh, yeah. He played power forward. Yeah, power forward.
Jamie,
I can't hear
Jamie.
Jamie,
Jamie,
I can't hear you.
Jamie, we muted you when you stopped making sense. I'm just kidding.
All right. No, I hope no. Cat
Hold on now.
Cat has the best 3-point percentage by any center by far, and like the most 3-point shots. But that's just obviously a unicorn trait. He's also a double every game and averages more than 20 points a game. He is soft so far. I'll agree with that. But I'm not trading him this offseason. I think he's going to come in next season and hopefully bring up his trade value if we're going to trade him. I think if we get less than what we traded for Gobert, I would be very disappointed.
Why did y'all trade for him? Why?
I believe the hype. They said, Cat can't defend, but Rudy can, but Rudy can't shoot. I'm like, hey, that makes sense. I guess it doesn't. I don't know. I don't watch it. I guess I don't know enough about basketball either, but I know that does hurt now. It does hurt now. But we still have Ant, so that's all I care. Ant's he's gonna be great. Yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping Cat, because Cat, see, that's the thing is Cat recently came out and was saying that he's just saying that he's generational talent and he's gonna
leave the game. They're gonna say I changed the game.
All that stuff, and that stuff is like I feel like that probably brought down his value a little bit. So that's a little crazy. But I'm hoping that he goes into next season and steps up because of all that stuff. Hopefully, I'm a hopeful.
I have to ask y'all this. I made a video a few days ago, and it was a short. And I was thinking, what's y'all opinion? I mean, I know we got Kirk Cousins. I know Kirk Cousins is a quarterback for 2023. I'm thinking we're going to get a quarterback in 2024. That's my honest opinion. That's what I think. What's your opinion on getting this guy out of retirement for 1 year? Just 1 year. Tom Brady. Just 1 year. Just 1 year. Imagine having Tom Brady and Justin Jefferson.
I think that's what made me get you on the show.
Just imagine it. Hold on, y'all. Just think about it for a second. In the playoffs, Tom Brady, they will fear Tom Brady right now more than they'll fear Kirk Cousins. With the improved defense, Justin Jefferson, KJ Osborne, Jordan Addison, Madison. Who else am I missing? Hawkinson. Just imagine.
How many games did he win last year? 7?
Huh?
The Tampa Bay?
Tom Brady won 7 games last year.
Yeah, he didn't have the best season, but
he's busy with Kim K right now. So
that's what I'm wondering. I put out there.
No, he's not.
I think
last year at end of last year I put out a Twitter post and I said who had a better season, and I put I put Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, and Kirk Cousins.
Don't put Kirk in there. Gosh.
Who had a better season? Mike, out of those four guys?
Say it again.
Kirk, stat-wise.
Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, and Kirk Cousins, who had a better year last year.
Yeah, Kirk had a better year.
So
what did he do in the playoffs?
Put him on my team to win a big game.
What did those three guys do in the playoffs?
No, but
two of them didn't make it, and one had a losing record.
But Dave, I'll be honest with yourself right now. If we had either of those quarterbacks and we got into the playoffs against the Giants, we would have a better chance. I guarantee you. I think we have a better chance with maybe not Russell Wilson. Maybe not Russell Wilson.
None of them made the play. Two of them didn't make the playoffs. We had to get there first.
Switch Kirk Cousins for any of those quarterbacks besides Russell. For one game.
Take him out, put him in. Like that doesn't happen. You had to play the whole season.
No, but
I understand that.
Who do you want on your team to win the game? I'm taking Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers all day over. Obviously, it makes no sense to pick.
I ain't taking Aaron Rodgers. Tom Brady, sure, not Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers at least to the NFC Championship.
Man,
I just want to go back to the second round, or even.
I'm just glad none of you said Russell Wilson. I had him outside my top. I had him like top 15.
I didn't think he was going to be as bad as he was. That's for sure.
He lost it, but Tom Brady would make this team more dangerous, in my opinion. I think if we had him right now, and we had him as a starting quarterback right now, I think he would do better than Kirk Cousins.
Well, I think last year, I think his mindset had a lot to do with his play. Now that he's past the divorce and everything's kind of settled with that,
right?
I think he'd be in a much better state of mind right now to play ball.
Yeah.
But did you say he's messing with Kim?
No question, I would take Tom Brady right now over Kirk Cousins.
Right.
Absolutely.
Just 1 year. I'm not saying give him a 5-year contract extension. Just a 1 year.
I wouldn't be surprised if Kirk's stats still would have looked better than Brady's, but I think you're definitely going deeper in playoffs, and I think there's a real chance to win more games. Maybe his he is older, but he's going to make the right decisions. Kirk Cousins still has an arm, and Kirk Cousins knows how to pack those stats. There's no question. Nobody's arguing about that. It all comes down to winning big games.
Right. Dave, do you agree with that, Dave?
I thought he was the MVP 2 years ago.
Tom Brady?
Yeah, he should have won the top. He got screwed 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah, he did. Because Rodgers ended up getting it, right? That's when Rodgers
gave it to Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers had 100 less yards and about 4 or 5 more touchdowns than Kirk Cousins, and he won the MVP. Tom Brady had one of his best years of his career, and he didn't win the MVP and won the Super Bowl. So, yeah. No, I can't tell you. I mean, all I know is what I had to go off of, and last year he didn't do very well. I do agree, Casey, that maybe he's past his divorce thing, but now he's doing fucking video, TikTok videos with Mr. Beast and on his yacht, throwing footballs at freaking drones.
Yep.
I mean,
you nailed that.
He proved he still has it.
He still got it.
Yeah.
And he's 10 years older than Kirk.
And he's banging Kim Kardashian.
Hold on, is that true? Hold on now.
It's speculation.
Tom Brady's messing with Kim Kardashian now.
I mean, the world is going
on.
I can't say for sure they're banging, but something's happening.
Tom Brady is messing with.
Breaking news: Tom Brady's banging Kim Kardashian. I don't hear everything you to know about Kim Kardashian and Tom Brady dating rumors 5 hours ago.
Kanye West is going to be mad about that.
Yeah, he's coming. Here's the next Tom Brady diss track by Kanye West coming.
They were seen during the day on the beach together and again dancing at night.
Oh, my God.
Let's go.
I can't believe this is happening. Dang, Tom.
Now he's got to stay away. Don't the Kardashians bring bad luck, though?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So now we don't want Tom Brady. Get Tom Brady out of here.
See, I'm a Sixer fan, right?
Yeah.
And what happened to Ben Simmons when he messed with one of the what's the girl's name? What is that? Yes. Every player that they mess with, and no disrespect to them, because they all look okay. They just Ben Simmons went from I don't know what happened to Ben Simmons.
Is it Chloe? Or is that
It was Kendall. It was Kendall.
Kendall. Yep, that's right.
One of the
Oh, it was
young
Kendall?
yeah.
Okay.
It was Kendall.
Oh.
Supermodel Kendall.
All of them freaking had
Is she supermodel?
surgery on their faces.
Yeah, I think she is.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know.
And Cats with Jordan Woods, who was like super tight with that family or whatever. Which I don't know, seems to go all right, I guess. But Cat's still soft, so
They
I
can't
know
wait
that
to
Bridget
get it together.
Monahan dirty, so.
yeah.
Dang, I don't know about Tom Brady no more. I changed my mind. He's with Kim Kardashian. I changed my. This is still
Yeah,
with
but it's
Kirk Cousins.
speculation.
But he's a family man.
Mike likes the family man. Kirk Cousins.
He's a family man, and he's a good person. I'm going with Kirk. Tom Brady just.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to Kirk, Tom now. I don't
No,
know,
wait.
Tom,
Could you imagine Kirk Cousins with Kim Kardashian? That would be.
and bringing him to the Minnesota Vikings stadium. What are we going to do? We're going to never win a Super Bowl.
Remember when Romo brought that singer? What's her name? The blonde.
Jessica Simpson or Carrie Underwood?
When Jessica Simpson used to go to the games.
Oh,
Yeah, that was terrible.
Tom
They
Brady.
hated her so bad in
Good
Dallas.
night, Eric. Thanks for popping in, dude.
You know
brother.
who's coming across not so bad that everybody hates is Mahomes' wife. I did not know they were childhood sweethearts.
Oh, I knew
he
that.
was younger. He was after her. She had him in the friend zone. All that stuff.
It's just those videos, man. The videos with her and Jackson Mahomes were just.
Well, notice they don't have any Jackson in this.
No, I knew
probably
they had to
because of
cut
his
him
arrest.
out. They were gonna have to cut him out for sure.
Yeah,
because of the arrest.
What a clown.
Yeah. So far, she seems all right in this series, but
yeah, she's not. Oh shit! Panama's beating the U.S. 1-0 in soccer. My wife's texting me.
I want to see Russell Wilson in this series. I want to see how he like what happened to him. Was it Sierra? Like he took a major step back from where he was. It's just like, dang, like I don't know.
They won 5 games the year before. Yeah, he was hurt, but he didn't play very well either.
Right.
So,
yeah, it's just like,
and that's why I had him outside. I think I had him maybe at 13. I think that's where I ranked him last year.
Oh yeah, Sarah, that's
season.
funny. He needs that Kardashian money. He's getting sued for FTX. He lost. I think he lost over $100 million towards FTX.
What?
The crypto.
Tom Brady, get the.
He was one of the biggest supporters of FTX, the cryptocurrency company that was the guy, the
and
CEO
Shaq.
Using
it was
the
Shaq,
money.
him, Mr. Wonderful from the Shark Tank. Big names.
Dang.
Yeah, a bunch of them. Yeah, a lot of them. They were pushing
Shaq. Remember Shaq got served at the at a basketball game.
Did he really?
A playoff game.
What?
He got served right after he got off of air. Some guy
I wish it was on air. I wanted to see that.
The guy that served in the papers bought front row tickets, and then got him when he was coming off the. That was amazing.
Hey, I got a question for y'all. I'm not sure how much you've been doing research on the quarterbacks in college right now. We really don't know. We really don't know who's going to be good. You know what I mean? We're going to see. But from what you have seen, who would you draft? Who would you want the Minnesota Vikings to draft next season if Kirk Cousins don't win a Super Bowl? Because that's my quarterback until he's not my quarterback. And if we win a Super Bowl, we have to sign him to a 10-year extension.
Yeah, if we win a Super Bowl, I really don't give a shit what happens for at least the next 10 years.
Right. Yeah, for at least 20 years.
Yeah,
for me,
we'll see. I'm sure 2 years later we'll be like, we want more. But for now, I just want one for sure.
Yeah, just one. What quarterback y'all looking at? I like Bo Nix.
Bo Nix. He's an interesting one.
I did a video talking about.
I don't know. I'm on Caleb Williams is the only one I watched. I watched some of them from when I was watching the quarterbacks last year, and I don't know. He has all the tools that you could ever want. I know some people there's some things about him, but I think he has all the tools that I want out of a franchise quarterback for sure.
I read somewhere that Drake May is getting they said by the end of the season he could be that guy that steps up there to be the number one guy.
It's gonna be. There's some options. There's some options.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
There's definitely some options. Yeah.
Yeah.
Deion Sanders' son. What's his name? Something Sanders.
Just brought up Deion.
I forgot his name.
Sanders.
Deion's kid. Yeah. What's his first name? Something Sanders.
I don't know. I don't remember. Even though I'm
transferred.
I live right next to freaking the Colorado State.
Colorado. So I got to see how he does it with tougher competition, and I guess we'll go from there because I think he can be. Because I don't want to make the mistake, like I said before. I don't want to make the mistake to just draft him just because of his father's greatness. You know what I'm saying? He got the last name Sanders, and you know how good Deion Sanders was. I don't want to just draft him because it's Deion. So he got to earn it. He got to earn it. Shadir. Right, Shadir.
I think Caleb Williams do some things that Derek Carr could never do in his wildest dreams.
Right, yeah. Oh, they comparing him to Derek
Carr? You want more. What up, Justin?
Like Derek Carr.
I like that. Who was that last comment? Who was that? I got to see.
That's Justin. Justin Lacey. What's up, dude?
All right, Justin. It's funny.
All right, fellas.
You haven't been a Viking fan that long, have you?
We've already almost been on for 2 hours. I do got to hop off here pretty quick. So, any other final thoughts before we run the old card giveaway?
I forgot to start this. So, anybody in here, Justin Jefferson rookie card, #Skol in the comments. At this point, you have no choice but to be here to win. So, #Skol in the comments. And like the video, subscribe to the channels. Go find Mike Sports Vibes. That's in the description as well. We've posted it on here. Everything. Go subscribe to his channel. Obviously, if you're in here and you haven't seen us before, subscribe to us, GG Sports Podcast and Minnesota Sports Talk. So #Skol in the comments. We got three. I forgot to start this earlier today. So Vikes fans are virgins. Yeah, we are. I'm a championship virgin 100%. I haven't won a championship in any of my teams because I was born in 92 and the Twins won in 91. So I've never seen a championship in my life.
I only seen the Phillies. So
let me pull out this banner.
Oh, stop the cat.
I know. I wasn't there.
I wasn't either.
Yeah. See, what year is that? What year? I can't see. Hold on.
87 and 19.
I'm pretty sure it's my fault Minnesota's in a drought. It's got to be my fault.
I used to have this hanging up because I was a Twins channel too. For like,
pop my cherry with the Nuggets
for like 5 days.
I forgot, Dylan, you're a Nuggets fan. I forgot about that. I went to the first Nuggets Timberwolves game this year, and we got our asses whooped, and then the Nuggets win the championship. Twins 87 and 91. Yep, missed them both. That's messed up.
I think our best team was in 65 though.
Mateo's Vikings are the only team I root for that the Viking that hasn't won anything.
Mateo's an LSU guy, right?
Yeah.
Which brings back to Justin Jefferson. You guys see Justin Jefferson's out there hanging out with Olivia Dunn?
Yeah, Olivia.
No.
Attaboy, JJ.
Yeah, no, go get it, JJ.
She probably makes more money than him.
She does.
She's got to be the
NIL. She's making like $3.5 million, which is
Let's
crazy.
go, JJ. That's the Tom Brady with Giselle type of vibes. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And isn't Kim Kardashian a billionaire?
Yeah, she is.
Oh,
but she's actually, she is kind of the reason why they have money, though, right? But she have a sex tape to make it happen.
Her and Ray J are the reason that
yeah, her and Ray J are the reason why.
Ray J made her. Actually, OJ Simpson started the whole thing by killing somebody. OJ Simpson started the whole thing by hiring her dad as his lawyer.
Rob Kardashian.
Dang.
91.
You're at game 7, 91, Gary?
That was the game to be at.
Right? All right, everybody got their #Skols in? Let's run this thing.
Let's go.
We got. All right. Yep. Running it. 3, 2. Wait, is Sarah, did you get in here? Are you still in here? Oh, Sarah, did you pop out right before we did this? I'll give Sarah a minute. Jokic to the Vikings would be the only good quarterback the Vikings should get, as Kirk Cousins will choke this season. Jokic to the Vikings. Hey, I'll take him. He's pretty good at passing.
Hey, AJ, stop the cat.
Oh, dude, I bet if the Vikings win the Super Bowl, man, shit's gonna be on fire for sure.
I'm going to be in Minnesota for a whole year.
That's one thing I've never understood. Why did people like riot when their team wins a championship? That's one thing I've never quite understood.
Dude, I think your emotions, I don't know how
Yeah.
it feels, but I'm assuming your emotions get so out of whack, you don't even know if you like black out for a second.
Hey, it's an outer body experience. Just imagine.
Yeah.
The
I'm
feeling
lighting
that you'll
shit on
have.
fire for sure. Something's burning down.
People
No, it's
thought
gonna be
Burrow
crazy.
was
I don't
with,
even know. There's times
with
with,
Dunn,
like
but
close
Burrow's
game, like the
hurt.
Colts
Maybe he's
game
with both.
last year and the Bills game. I don't even know if I was like an out of body experience during that. I don't know what the fuck was going on. That shit's so intense. It gets so intense, so much nerves, and then you're watching something that's never been done happening. It's crazy.
The Minnesota, was it called the Minnesota Miracle?
Yep.
For the Saints,
That
yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, I cried.
Bro,
I cried, yo. I was crying. I said I cried. It was tears of joy, but I was crying that game. I went upstairs. I said, "Yo, I tell you what,
Dude, it was like, yeah.
And then of course your hometown Eagles had to go and just rip our hearts
out. Yo, yeah,
we were up 7-0.
Yo, that was, I don't even want to talk. That didn't happen, Dave. That game did not happen.
Yeah, we just pretend it doesn't. That's why we need to win a Super Bowl. We need to beat Eagles this year. We just need to squash that so they can't have that on.
Yes. Especially because I live over here. You know what I mean? It's just,
like you deal.
I got family members that just come at my neck all the time.
Sarah, you have to put hashtag Skol in. I was waiting for you. I had to restart it. I forgot to put it in the chat. Don't put anything on our Rocky statue. You will
33-7. Thank you very much.
Dang, I forgot AJ. I think he was an Eagles fan, isn't he?
Yeah, he's an Eagles fan.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm gonna put a Kirk Cousins jersey on Thursday night.
Oh God, don't do that.
On the statue? I like that. You like that? I bet you AJ likes that.
You like that? You like that? I'm in the city. I'm in the building that night, man. I'm in the building.
Let's go. All right, I'm running this thing. 3, 2, 1, 10 entries. Boom. Here we go. One card. What we got? Who we got? We got Dylan. Dylan. Let's go. Dylan, I already got all your info. I forget though. Was it on Instagram? Did you hit me up on Instagram? I forget, Dylan. I think so. I don't know. I'll find you either way. I'm
holding you to this, Mateo. We're holding you to that. We're holding you to it. Like a reverse tramp stamp type deal. We're holding you to that.
I ain't gonna lie.
That'd be a sick ass tattoo.
I'm getting a Vikings tattoo.
Are you soon? If we win a Super Bowl?
Go Vikings or something. I'm getting Vikings. I got my whole arm is tatted up. I'm gonna get the other arm tatted up. It's gonna have something to do with Vikings.
Yeah.
If we win a Super Bowl.
Awesome, Dylan. Congrats, bro. Hey, Mike, are you streaming on Friday?
Friday night I go live at 8:00.
He goes live at 8:00. So when you go live, do you mix it up? Do you go with like a Viking show sometimes and then a 76er show sometime, or is it? It's
a hybrid sports show. Like I got Viking people that be in the chat. I got Sixer people that be in the chat. So wherever like they talk about, I just talk. It gets random sometimes. We be talking about everything. We just be vibing.
Yeah,
we just talk.
That's cool.
So
I like that.
Yeah.
I have a Viking tattoo. All right.
How do you like our vibe, Mike? How was our vibe?
Oh, it's awesome, man. Yo, thank you for having me.
Yeah,
I really appreciate that, man.
Yeah, no.
I'll definitely come on another time if y'all want me to come on. I'll definitely come on and we can definitely chop it up. Definitely talk that talk. And shout out to everybody that's in the building. Shout out to y'all. And
I'm gonna try to sample if we win the Super Bowl. Let's go, Sarah.
Oh, don't do it. Don't do it.
It'd be worth it with the Vikings one.
I know.
Mike's the only 76ers fan I like.
Hold on. What's your team then, bro? What's he, a Lakers fan?
He's from Ohio.
So he's a Cleveland fan.
Oh, Cleveland.
Oh, Cavaliers.
That's probably what you are, huh, Mateo? You're a Cavs fan.
Cavaliers. They look all right. They're not bad.
But all right, everybody. Well, hey, thanks again for hopping in, Mike. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Definitely. So one more time, tell everybody where they can find your stuff.
You can find me on Twitter, Mike Sports Vibes, Instagram, Mike Sports Vibes, of course, YouTube, Mike Sports Vibes. What else? I got a TikTok, but I really don't be on there, to be honest with you. So, but you can find me on there too, Mike Sports Vibes. And we just vibing. Only good vibes over there, man. We're gonna talk our talk and have fun. And that's just what my channel's about, bringing people together from all over the country and all over the world and just vibing about our favorite sports. I mainly talk about the Sixers and the Vikings, but I will talk about something else. If someone leaves in the comments and if they're into something else, like say for instance, like they want to talk about boxing, like there's a big boxing match coming up, I think this
Tyson
Saturday.
Fury
Yeah. So if y'all want to, if y'all leave in the comments, y'all want to talk about that, I'll talk about that. But mostly it's going to be Sixers and Minnesota Viking content because those are my two favorite teams. So.
Sounds
awesome.
great.
Awesome.
All right. Well,
That's right,
everybody-
Mateo. I remember that now.
All right, everybody, for Mike's Sports Vibes, GG Sports Podcast, and Minnesota Sports Talk. Thank you for joining us on another.
This one
Skol
was for
Experience.
Greg Joseph.
We'll be back. We'll be back next Wednesday. Obviously, our Dave will have his shows coming up. Jamie, I believe we are off on Monday. You are busy, so we won't be doing our live stream on Monday.
Yeah.
But I'm sure we'll find some time to pop a video out next week. But yeah, thanks everybody for joining, and see you next time.
Skol Vikes.